Okay. Welcome to AquariumTech. My name is Michael. I'm your host, and today I'll do a little revisiting on the Fluval C series. You know, I made that little video. It's kind of shiesty. And also just compare it here to the AquaClear 70 while we're at it. So, go ahead and kill two birds with one stone here. Okay. Let's go ahead and start off. We'll start off with the intake tubes. Now, I usually like to use pre-filters, especially these ATI hydro ones. You know, they come with pretty much everything you need, the adapters. I mean, there's no reason not to use it. And I don't know if I said it or did anything about it in that first video, I forgot. But the tube on here is smaller, as you can see. Watch this. Boom. It is, and there's room for it to move. I mean, this is smaller than this. So I was, worried about it because it's only by, fraction that, it wouldn't fit. And plus, it's got this kind of a tip on it, of course. So, of course, it's got to be buried way deeper in there. But it looks like if you push it in, maybe use some Teflon tape, it'll work with that. Or even you can take it out, and it looks like it's a little loose in there. But like I said, Teflon tape. Looks like it'll work, okay? But that was one thing I was worried about when I was buying this filter. But on the other hand, it is nice to have this telescoping tube over this. Even though this is, better than nothing, you can always add some, take some off, so that's always nice. Okay, pretty much it for the tubes here. Okay, now onto the actual filters. Go ahead and start off. It looks like this is like this, almost like the same case. It's just more trim, as you can see here. This is just more boxy and kind of unreal, I guess you would say, but it's just more trim, more compact. As you can see, basically, one thing I've kind of noticed is this is basically just a version. Almost, to oversimplify it, an updated version of the AquaClear, really. I mean, it's pretty much the same casing. As you can see, they just really used all the casing, or everything that's in there. As you can see, I'll take this off. There's nothing here. You've got all this room here. This is completely empty. You could probably do something up here, cut this back a little bit. I mean, here, and even redo this section, the main section in there to fit more stuff. There's a lot of stuff they did, and that's pretty much what they did. As you can see here, the biologicals right here. Your chemicals basically down the front half, and then they just did it surface area wise, length, width wise, and did your mechanical on this side, just to oversimplify it, but that's pretty much what it is. They basically just used all the space up of the AquaClear. As you can see, it's pretty much the same motor. Six bladed torpedo there, or I'm sorry, I called it a torpedo. I mean propeller. Let's see, that one was from the Fluval. This one's AquaClear. Actually, I need to take this one apart anyways, but same one. Or at least if they're different ones, they damn sure look alike. I'll tell you that. And damn sure, the same size. Anyways, okay. Another thing to compare is the outlet here. I guess this one's actually a little bit bigger, which is always, usually better for distributing the flow. And as you can tell, this thing has a little lip that comes out. This is just a straight kind of downward curve. I mean, if it matters, it's just something to compare. Okay. What was I going to say? Another thing is, they both have the covers with the flow. You know how the AquaClear one works, I'm sure, if you've ever had one. I actually have to say that I know in the pictures it didn't look like the Fluval one worked like the AquaClear one did, the flow changer, but it doesn't, I don't think it does move as much, but let me tell you, it's a lot more dynamic. It actually does change the flow more, and it's quite a bit smoother action as well. So I do like this one a little bit better for that. So course, go ahead and take that. And the AquaClears, the only thing you have to replace is, you got your sponge. But the only thing you have to replace is that bag of carbon. And here you do have carbon as well. I'm not sure if you have to replace this. This is the trickle filter pad. I'm sure if it gets ripped or something, but it's pretty dense. I don't think it needs to be replaced. Most biological stuff you don't want to change anyways. Okay, and then just to compare here. That noise there is actually my South American red devil cichlid banging on the top of the hood of the tank. If you can see part of the tank to my left, he's actually banging on the top of the hood for food. It's kind of funny. Anyways, see, AquaClear, Fluval, same exact cartridge pretty much. And what I was actually going to say with the sponge, it looks like the sponge might have about the same surface area, and like I was saying, they pretty much just did it width-wise, and this they kind of did it, length-wise and height-wise, so very similar. And of course, on this though, it also has the finer sponge in the back here. Oh, and also, I think I did say something about it on the video. It's got your, tells you when your filter pads are dirty. What happens is I'm pretty sure the water level rises up, and then it'll move this up, and that tells you when your filters are dirty. Okay. Put this back in just for right now. And I know even in the Fluval manual, it didn't really show the flow of how this filter works. So I'll go ahead and bring this up to the camera to show you how this works. I kind of had to just watch it for myself. I don't know, it might be because I have one of the first manuals or something. But, oh, and another thing to compare, it also has like the same leveling device as the AquaClears, but it doesn't have the thing on the motor. I know some AquaClears don't. I have a newer AquaClear one than this one, and it didn't have the leveling device here on the motor like this one does. But it also had the same one that this leveling device on the bottom that this one has. But anyways, if you can see in there, like I was saying, they just use the space more efficiently here. This out of the way. They basically took this and they put a little, I'll take this out, it might be easier for you to see. If you can see that black thing in there, it's actually directing all the water towards this slot right here. It's taking all of it from down there from the impeller and brings it into here, which puts it behind this, okay? And then once it's behind there, of course the water's continuously forcing this way. You can see the red box here, that's your chemical filtration. Of course, it passes through there, rises up, and then comes out, and you have your flow right here on the back, your main flow on the back of your biological cartridge here, and then it comes out the front and pours right out. Okay. Now, you also have the trickle fountain right here for this, and I'm not sure. And of course, but that trickles down here. This pad's got holes in it, comes down, hits your C nodes or Biomax, and then falls out with the rest of the water. Okay. Anyways, as you can see here, I'll show you. It says 264 gallons per hour. Okay. Now we know that the AquaClear 70 actually does 300 gallons per hour. So I'm not sure if that's because this has more padding, because the motor is supposed to be weaker, or just the water has to pass through more, or that it's because of this trickle fountain. I mean, it sounds about the right flow. It's at like 36 gallons per hour less. But I'm not sure if it's because of this thing. It's not taking into account this thing, because the water actually for that thing passes. It looks like here, it just passes through the. I'm sorry, the mechanical, it comes down, and there's no way I can really show you it, but it hits the chemical, and then some of it comes up this way using the propeller power, and of course soaks the pad and comes down. and can't really think of anything else to talk about here about the filter. I mean, so far it looks like it has the same flow as this. I mean, really eyeballing it, it looks the same. But of course we're talking gallons per hour here, so I haven't actually measured it or anything like that. But they're both nice filters. Of course, you know, the AquaClear is proven, but I have a feeling this is definitely going to be the new AquaClear. I mean, it's, so far what I've seen has definitely been pretty phenomenal. Some pretty radical changes. And basically just using space more efficiently. I can't really think of anything else to compare or talk about on these two. I've pretty much covered everything on this I can right now. If you have any other questions that I did not cover, or any questions at all, just go ahead and send me a message. Okay? Thanks for tuning in.